We're running?
Yes.
Cool. So, welcome to our introduction to software analysis and design. I'm super excited to have you here today, and today is the most important learning objective of all of them, which is, why is this course worth your time?
Mm-hmm.
So, my intention today is to talk with you about why would you want to show up every week and have these conversations in class. And the first piece around that is, yeah, you're becoming software engineers. When do you use software? So maybe you can do a super quick mumble, like a minute between the two of you, and talk about when in your day do you use software, from when you get up in the morning to late on. Time's running.
All right.
I have to do this thinking basically 24/7. Use software. No, I'm furnace quite software less. Anything on your first use of software, I'll bet you that the tram system.
Are you running on software?
Probably.
Probably some.
Probably on replicants. The tram everything runs on software. Probably the traffic lights run on software. The bridge runs on software.
Yeah, I mean,
the tax
it's
system runs
so
on software.
convenient for finance, for my economics, for all the stuff with the state, for my healthcare, for my work, for learning and looking up how to do stuff.
Sure. Yeah, I think that I think right now you can't live without software. I mean, you can, but it's really hard. In Sweden you can't. You definitely can't in Sweden. Your bank ID works with software. You can't pay because you can only pay digitally, so that's probably software.
Well, I would disagree with can't. I think you can, but it's
I mean, you
not
can,
convenient.
but it's really hard.
Yes, perfect. It is. It is really hard to live in Sweden and refuse to run software. I think if we even tried a day without it, we may have to stick to what we already bought as food that we have at home and so on and so forth. So yeah, I heard a lot of things from work to transport to different areas of life, also public administration a lot. In Sweden, I felt very transparent and made of glass online. So it is in everything, which is this first important piece. As software engineers, we design the systems that run the world. Therefore, what we do probably matters. Now, if it matters and we make mistakes, that really sucks, right? So I would like you to take 1 minute for yourself and with a pen write down where and how does software suck? Like, when were the times that you've recently been really annoyed with software? What are the things that upset you when it goes wrong? Or where have you run against the wall and were not able to solve something? I see your first pause. We'll rest it right there. And you don't even have to share. This is more your internal motivation for if some of that stuff sucks, as in sometimes frozen screens, nothing is happening, or what I really want to do is not present as an option, then we get really frustrated with it. Sometimes to the point where I'm like, I am not even going to teach using software. I'm going to teach software engineering on a whiteboard. There you go. Now the question is, where in the process or are the reasons for that? Like, why does that happen? And for that, we're going to look into this little software analysis and design process. So we start at the beginning with something called requirements. And for the requirements, we first have to elicit them. So in requirements elicitation, we usually talk to stakeholders, we talk to our clients, we talk to potential future users, we do some market research, and we find out what is it exactly that the software is supposed to do. That means we get input from a lot of different people here. And yeah, you got those gaps to fill in the boxes so it sticks to your brain a little more. And then we get to the requirements analysis. And during the analysis, we try to make sense of all these different inputs and come to one consolidated thing. Also to figure out what Kim said does not match up with what Alex said. That's not going to be implemented in the same system. So how am I going to get these two people to agree on a subset that is actually feasible to do? So we also resolve requirements conflicts in here. And then that's the part that you've done in the course with Jennifer in the last lecture period. So now we move into where the magic happens. And this is the software design. And in the software design, we also have a part that's called the UX design, which is the user interface, and the user interaction design. And it's got some magic stars and sparkles because first of all, it's the magic that's going to happen this semester, and second, because it is non-trivial to get from something that is structurally written down in the problem space, as we call it, to design it, to create something in the solution space, to create a system that satisfies these requirements, and then later on we implement the code for that. So we have the implementation, and then later on it goes into maintenance. So this is the part that we'll talk about in the course here, yes, including the magic, of how can we take these requirements and develop a design for them such that we can implement code. And given this little process, if we now look back at the examples of where software sucks, then we could say, well, what are common causes for having an unhappy user, as you were yourself in question 2? What are the causes for ending up as an unhappy user? So now, maybe let's go back to an example. Would one of you volunteer an example of where you were not happy with software?
The one that we have like, why does it suck?
Yeah.
Okay, for example, when it's doing something and it doesn't tell me why. So it's in like this thing that goes around and like, what is it doing? You know, there's no, that's frustrating.
Go faster.
So you think of, what is it? Just tell me what it's doing so I know what to solve.
Oh, you want
So we
to.
have a
It's like,
square thing
like
and it's
why?
unclear.
I just clicked on a folder icon. It's like it shouldn't be rocket science.
Cool. So we have something that we could call missing transparency. So we got a swirly thing and we don't actually know what's going on. What is another example that you had?
Healthcare system in Sweden,
Uh-huh.
and just bad design and
Mhm.
not giving the information I need and
Mhm.
not making it simple.
Yes. Okay, not getting info I need. Design is not intuitive. Cool. So the not getting the info I need, that I would need more context to say, well, we kind of knew what info we needed, but we didn't do a good job at putting it into the design. So it could be a failure either in the requirements engineering part or in the design part. The missing transparency, what's going on behind the swirly thing that's making me wait, that is definitely a design thing of, we could just show the status. Like, what's the status of what is happening in the system right now? And then design is not intuitive, definitely a user interface design problem. Yeah. So we see that in different spots here, we have challenges that come up for the resulting software products. Do you have another example that you would like to bring up of a different kind?
Errors that I don't understand when there is an error, and you know they do tell me why it's was, and it's like missing dependency in UX blah 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 components, and like the first thing I do is Google this because this helps absolutely no way.
Yes. Yes, that's another classical user interface design thing. Like, what does the arrow mean? The semantics for the syntax that I have. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Cool. So this was our little introduction into why does software analysis and design matter. Now, I would like you as a last thing to check your understanding. In a 30-second paper, we're going to minimize it. So for yourself, do you have an idea now why it matters? What would you say it is? Good. So my little answer, why does it matter, is because we want to provide quality systems to support users in a specific task. And we want to do that in a way that they know what's going on and that they find the stuff that they need and that it's easy to use. Those are some of the quality attributes that we will be speaking about in the upcoming weeks. Thanks so much for coming today. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell for notifications. Thank you.